In today's video, I'll be reviewing 8 of new 2025 fragrances in my collection, from the least to the most favorite ones. Without any further ado, like always, I want to start by House of Dior at number 8, Dior Homme Parfum 2025 version. So it is like a powdery fragrance. Still it is powdery, but not anymore lipsticky. It is dry. I get ton of amber, gives the fragrance a dry, like powderiness. And iris is still here available. What is missing here is, let's check the before formulation. Wow. What is missing here is first that wow factor. Definitely not a wow groundbreaking fragrance. And the second is base notes. I don't get any solid base from this fragrance, like something very solid, leathery, darky, spicy, woody. Fragrance is mostly about top notes and mid notes and doesn't have weight to it. It is a better phrase, let's say. It doesn't have weight to it. And also, I'm not kind of easy person to please. I have smelled a ton of fragrances. Maybe it is easier for people out there to accept this fragrance, but still I believe it is not a wow fragrance for average people out there as well. I can get like 8 hours, 9 hours plus longevity with this one, with 2 hours of good projection and sillage. Is it a bad fragrance? No, it's not a bad fragrance, but it is not also a good fragrance. Number 7 is from House of Jean-Paul Gaultier, Le Male Elixir Absolu. In my opinion, scent profile of this fragrance is a solid U-turn from Le Male Elixir to Le Male Parfum side. I really like this DNA. It is number 7 because it doesn't bring anything new to the table, any card. And if you have any other versions, it is absolutely a highly unnecessary and redundant release or pick in your collection. So it is like herbal, fresh, we have that great DNA, but it is like another bottle just, or another name, and almost same accords. It doesn't differ big time in the air. You can get some sort of a bit darkness in the dry down of the fragrance, but it is like 10% differences there, and 90% is similar to Le Male Parfum, and it is not as dense or sweet as Le Male Elixir. So that's why, in my opinion, it is a U-turn from Le Male Elixir to Le Male Parfum. I really like the DNA. It is a complementing fragrance and DNA, but it is a very redundant and unnecessary release. Number 6 is from House of Rasasi. I have here Hawas Fire. What I like here, it is not exact cologne of any particular fragrance, or I can read on the platforms that is cologne of any fragrances out there, but I haven't smelled it. Okay, for example, Hawas Black is a cologne, Hawas Elixir is a cologne, but Hawas Ice is not, or regular Hawas is not. They are take on other fragrances. That's why I like those fragrances better compared to the accurate colognes. Here, scent profile of this fragrance is like, gives me some sort of candied cherryish. I was going to say maybe that cherry or sour cherry vibe is because of tobacco, but then I regret it because it is very realistic. Maybe it is because of cherry itself, and has some sort of weight to it, which I like fragrances with a solid weight. It is like burnt plasticky type of smokiness. For example, a car that is under the sun, when you go in the car, you feel some sort of plasticky smokiness smell. It is like that. And it is a very solid fragrance, lasts like solid 12-14 hours plus on me, and just projects and projects, like 2-3 hours solid projection and sillage, I would say, to this one. So I have here at number 5 Davidoff Cool Water Elixir. Cool Elixir. Why I'm saying Cool Water Elixir? Oh wow, it is actually Cool Elixir. I don't see any water. Okay, anyway. So according to the text on the back of the box, top notes, rose oxide, heart notes, lavender and absolute, and base note, oud accord. So if I go based on this, I would say, wow, rosy, oudy. But I can't get any rose. Maybe it is my bad. Let me know in the comments if you can get any rose. I can't get any rose here at all. What I get here is like Invictus Legend. It has some sort of similarities with that fragrance, like salty, watery, oceanic. Damn, it is actually very close to Invictus Legend by Paco Rabanne, and very little of Ultra Male at the opening. So let's say direction is still like Cool Water Intense, but differs really compared to that fragrance. It is a solid flanker because I like the flankers that are not redundant in your collection. This is also one of those. So let's say to this one, like oceanic, fruity, salty, and in the dry down is the part of fragrance that lavender and oud shines. That lavender and oud together gives you some sort of feel like Dior Sauvage Elixir, but not identical, don't get me wrong. Whiffs of that fragrance is in the dry down, you can detect sometimes. Like, wow, Dior Sauvage Elixir somehow, but again, disappears. So it gives you that vibe. I would say it lasts on me like 7 to 8 hours plus, but it is not a solid, strong 7 8 hours. And projection and sillage, I would say, pushes great, to be honest. It is like room filler at the first hour. After that is kind of average to below average. So dies fast, let's say, to this one. Cool Elixir, sorry. Number 4, such a solid fragrance. This is one of those 10 out of 10 fragrances, in my opinion. Stronger With You, Parfum. So, wow, fragrance has a solid leather note to it, which is not mentioned on the Fragrantica. Yeah, it is definitely, leather is a bit smoky. It is a bit about to be animalic, touches that territory, but bounces back very fast, let's say. And it is spicy. Woodiness is here reduced compared to what? Compared to the, for example, Stronger With You, Intensely, Stronger With You, Absolutely. We don't have any booziness to my nose. It is sweet, still nutty. So let's say we have here like added leather, and those burnt woodiness and spiciness is a bit reduced, but woodiness is much more prominent compared to the spiciness still. And I can get a little bit of nuttiness as well. So is it a redundant release? Yeah. If you have Intensely version, Absolutely version, really, to be honest, you don't need this one. But if you want something like added leather, yeah, you can go. But it is not a necessary, a must-have fragrance in your collection if you have Intensely or Absolutely already. But if you have the regular version, yes, you should go after this. About performance, I can get like solid 10 hours plus on my skin. I would say 12, but yeah, let's say strong 10 hours with 2 hours of good projection and sillage. Number 3, from House of Versace. I have here Eau Fraiche Extreme. How is the scent profile? I would say it is like citrusy, fruity, sweet, woody, and that woodiness is like soft. I would say like ISO Super plus Ambroxan together, both fragrances, dense, extreme, yeah, makes sense, and I like it. Why? Because compared to the regular one, it is a loyal flanker, but not a redundant fragrance. So if you have this one, is it a redundant release for you or pick? No. That is a good point for me, a positive point. So how is scent profile? I would say to this one, sweet, for example, but to this one, no. This one is not a sweet fragrance in my book, at least. I don't know what you think about this. Let me know in the comments. But I would say it is sweet. We have here added sweetness. Imagine this one, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, mixed with Eau Fraiche, the regular one. Here we go, we have extreme version. Damn, they are close. Damn, they are close. Yeah, it is literally a mixture of both of these two together. So if you mix these two together and thicken it, like add more thickness to it, we can get extreme version, which is thicker compared to the both of these fragrances, and lasts longer compared to both of these fragrances. This is a long-lasting fragrance on me. I cannot overspray it, but it is very airy. And this one is like for 5 hours on my skin. Some say that is very long-lasting, but not for me. So I can get with Eau Fraiche extreme version, like 7 to 8 hours plus longevity on my skin. First hour, or let's say first 30-40 minutes push is great. It is like room filler. After that is like average. So first hour good, second hour is average in terms of projection and sillage, and it leans a bit more youthful compared to the regular Eau Fraiche and projects better. It is denser, more noticeable. Number 2 is one of those must-have cheap, affordable fragrances in any man's collection. One of those 10 out of 10 solid cheapies, especially for date night type of situations. If your budget is tight, this is one of the best on the market you can get. I'm talking about 9 p.m. Elixir by Afnan. Afnan did a great job here. What I like here, it is not a cologne fragrance. It is definitely inspired. You get those inspirations, but it is not a cologne. So what I get here is Ultramol, or the regular 9 p.m. plus Le Mal Elixir, like mixture of both of those fragrances. And as a weight, spiciness, we have here like Stronger With You intensely in the background of the fragrance. Some say it is like Kamra Dukan. I believe it is because they haven't smelled Stronger With You intensely. Yeah, because Dukan has more smoky accord. I don't get any smoke here, but I get definitely leather and that spiciness of Stronger With You intensely. So like mixture of 3 of those fragrances with touch of Afnan, let's say, you can get all of those fragrances. And Ultramol, or 9 p.m. is much more prominent compared to the other fragrances here. Lasts some solid 10 to 12 hours plus strongly, and projection and sillage is crazy for first 2-3 hours. And number 1, my handsome juice. It is such a chic fragrance, elegant. I'm talking about Armani Code Elixir. I have also here. I would say to this one, immediately in the opening, I get freshness of regular Code. Opening is closer to regular Armani Code compared to all other fragrances in the line, and Armani Code Parfum. And it is definitely sweeter compared to the Code, but that freshness, that backbone is available here like 30%. It is not redundant compared to those fragrances. It is powdery, leathery, and what I like here is boozy in the dry down. After first hour gets boozier, and after 3-4 hours gets more powdery. I wish it was more boozy, but yeah, it is what it is. But it is a very handsome and sexy, solid, complex fragrance. Lasts on me like 7 to 8 hours plus on the skin, on the clothing like 4-5 days. I can get it strongly, and projection and sillage is good for first 2 hours. After second hour is like, let's say, below average, but still it is there. So like 2-3 hours you can get something in terms of projection and sillage out of this one. Take care, guys.